friends, this is Hedda. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. Today I am setting up my bullet journal for December. This video is kindly sponsored by Rustico.com and I'll talk a bit more about them later in the video. A couple of weeks ago I received a PR package from Archer & Olive which contained a few really cool things, and among those was a pack of their cool fall colors acrylograph pens in the size 0.7mm. Coincidentally, I also purchased a 3mm pack of these pens myself, so now I have both sizes. I thought these would be the perfect colors for a winter theme this December. The first thing I did on my cover page was to write the word koselig. Koselig is Norwegian and it basically means cozy. It's the Norwegian equivalent of the Danish hygge, which seems to be super popular among the English-speaking population of the world. I basically just wrote the word and the definition, and then I used my Unipin brush pen to make a border around the whole page. I drew a couple of pine branches at the bottom for some decoration. The other side of my cover page is filled with doodles. I've never really done a doodly theme in my bullet journal before, as far as I can remember. I always kind of thought I wasn't any good at that kind of drawing because I can spend hours on just a sketch for a drawing. But the longer I do this, the more I find that perfection is unobtainable anyway, so why let the fear of failure stop me from experimenting and trying something new? So I sketched out some things I associate with December, and then I used the acrylograph pens to color them in, as you can see. What's so fun about the acrylograph pens is that once they're dry, you can layer other colors on top, and it will be quite opaque. So I used that method for a few of the doodles. I actually didn't want this theme to be overly Christmassy, so some of these doodles are Christmas related, like the ornaments and the gingerbread and candy canes, but most of them are just winter themed. Norway has lots of spruce and pine trees, and coffee and tea is, of course, a must on cold winter days, and so are scented candles for me. I tried to balance the colors equally, and I drew some stars in between the doodles to make it a bit more crowded. And I actually went in after I'd finished all of my spreads for some final touches and added a few sparkles and some more stars just to make it even more crowded, because I think that looks really nice when there are just lots of doodles and lots of things going on. I didn't really have a plan going in, so I kept switching between colors, which probably made this a lot more time consuming than it had to be. Oh, and I also drew the same kind of border as on the left page, but I just used a pencil so that I knew where to stop drawing, and then I could just erase it afterwards. So both pages have the same border, but it's kind of invisible on the right page, if that makes sense. I thought this would make the spread look more cohesive. I could have used washi tape too and just peel it off after, but I didn't feel like I needed it this time. When I started making this spread, I wasn't sure if I wanted to outline the doodles or not, but I ended up doing it in the end. I used my Unipin brush pen, which gives the lines a bit more life than just a uniform fine liner. So the lines are a bit squiggly in some places with different thickness here and there, and I kinda like it. Since there's no system or order to which doodles I outlined, as I'm editing this video I realized I forgot to outline a couple of stars and branches, but that's okay, it's fixed now. I lettered December with the same brush pen. Really, I mostly used the acrylograph pens and the Unipin brush pen for all of these spreads. I guess I also used a couple of fine liners for the left side of the cover page. And that's it for the cover page until I add some final touches in the end, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks super cute. Moving on to the next spread, which will be my monthly calendar. I drew some doodles here again, and I tried to switch up the colors a little bit. Somehow they turned out a bit larger than the doodles on the cover page, but that's not the end of the world. It definitely went a bit faster on the spread since I knew what I was working with, so that was nice. I still had some issues with the acrylograph pens being streaky and having to reactivate them all the time, which is kind of annoying. I still love the colors though, and I'm really thankful that I have both sizes because that made these doodles a lot easier to draw. I've sped up these clips a lot because this setup actually took like 3 hours to make, so I had a lot of footage. I didn't want to cut out too much, so I decided to just speed it up a lot. So while I keep doodling on this spread, let me tell you a little bit about the sponsor of this video, Rustico.com. Rustico is a company based in Utah in the US, and they make beautiful leather and canvas notebooks. If you're into the rustic vintage style, I can definitely recommend Rustico. I've been using their traveler's notebook and their canvas notebook for the past year, and I really like them. I recently gifted a Rustico traveler's notebook to my friend so she could start a bullet journal, and she really likes it. They have pencil cases and bags as well, and really lovely gift bundles which are perfect for the holiday season. Go to Rustico.com to check out their collection. I don't know if you guys celebrate Christmas, but I am really looking forward to it. I'm longing for the calm quiet of Christmas Eve and the lights from the Christmas tree. I actually won't be decorating my apartment for Christmas at all, but I'm looking forward to going to my parents' house and enjoy all of their decorations. I'll just stick to some scented candles and maybe some pine branches in my apartment, because I don't think there's any need to buy lots of decor. Alright, back to talking about the actual spreads. I used my Unipen brush pen to draw up the calendar grid without a ruler because I think the imperfect lines fit the theme a lot more. I used the beige acrylograph pen to make a circle in each square, and once that was dry, I wrote each date within the circle. I tried to focus more on the beige, brown, and blue so that it would be less Christmassy and more cozy winter. I drew outlines of the doodles with my Unipen brush pen again, and again, I think the black outlines really pulled everything together since the lines are all kind of different. I also went back after to make some more stars and sparkles, and I'm quite happy with how this turned out. Okay, so on the next couple of spreads, I tried something I've never done before. This spread will have my Christmas present overview on one side and my monthly expenses on the right side. I wanted to have both of these on the same spread because they'll be very correlated in December. I don't normally make a spread to track expenses, mostly because it's kind of depressing, but I figured it's time to get a better grip on my finances now that I'm graduating. Anyway, because I had these big tables, I didn't want to try to fit in some doodles here and there because it might look a bit odd, so I drew some inspiration from your grandpa's plaid shirt and the scarf I bought my first winter in Japan in 2013. I decided to start by making a grid with the 3mm beige acrylograph pen, and I used a dot grid as a guide. I then went over with the brown 3mm pen to make a grid using the remaining dots as guidelines. And then for the last layer, I used the red 0.7mm pen, and I drew a line to the left and right below each brown line, if that makes sense. The last layer really does the trick for the spread, I think. I checked my footage and it took me like 20 minutes to make this spread from start to finish, so that's not bad. My wrist was kind of hurting afterwards though, and I should be wearing my wrist brace, but oh well. Then I used the beige pen to color in the title, and I'm not really sure what I was going for here, but it's kind of like a wooden sign. I used the Unipen brush pen to draw up the tables and outline the header, and then I used the black acrylograph pen to draw the title, mostly because it shows up better on top of the beige acrylograph pen than my brush pen does. And if you want to know how I fill these spreads in, you kind of just have to go over to my Instagram, click the follow button, and wait for a picture. And that is my shameless pitch for my Instagram. Moving on to the next spread, where I used the same technique for the background, but I used blue instead of brown so that they won't be exactly the same. I actually quite like this color combination. This spread will be my habit tracker and a list of videos I am planning to put up in December. So far I haven't made any of them, but it will be my project for the month of December. So kind of like a Vlogmas, but without vlogs. So that's what I'm doing instead of taking time off after finishing my thesis. But it'll be good. I think I will learn a lot from it, and I hope you like the videos that I have planned too. There will be giveaways in all of my videos in December because it is the season of giving after all, so you can definitely look forward to that. If there is a type of video that you're really interested in seeing from me, you can leave a request or a suggestion, I guess, in the comment section below, and you know, maybe I'll make that kind of video. I don't have all the videos set in stone yet, so you know, there's still room for a few suggestions. But I can reveal a few videos that are definitely coming, and those are my long-awaited 2021 reading journal setup and also an update on how my reading journal has been going this year. You guys have been asking a lot for this, and I just, you know, haven't had the time to sit down and make a video about it until now, so I'm really excited for that. And also my 2021 bullet journal setup, since this is the last month I can fit in my current journal. Oh, and there will be some exciting notebook reviews as well, and yeah, lots of giveaways, so I'm really excited. It will be a lot of fun. Like I said before, the left page is going to be my habit tracker for December. So I decided to use the calendar stamp from my Notebook Therapy tracker stamp set, which was gifted to me earlier this fall. Thank you very much. I've been using these a lot actually, and they're super for making little habit tracker calendars. I won't be writing the numbers in there, I'll just fill in each square when I do the thing I'm tracking. I didn't actually write what I'll be tracking in there, since I'd rather decide on that when the month starts. So this is the last spread that I'll be making for this video, and after this I have exactly 5 blank spreads which will fit the last 5 weeks of the year, and then I'll move on to a new journal. It's quite exciting that I'm starting a new journal in January actually, since that normally doesn't happen for me. Anyway, here is a little flip through of the spreads that I made for December. I'm excited to get into this last month of the year and excited to finally leave this year behind me, as I'm sure many of you are as well. I hope that you're all staying safe and healthy, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!